Sophia and James were an ordinary family until they decided to buy Henry the robot that changed their whole life. How would you feel about buying the latest technology that speaks and looks indistinguishable from a living person? I certainly didn't expect the way events turned out at the end of the movie. That's Mr. Narrator, and enjoy the movie. 3 months before, James and Sophia are discussing moving. They bring the couch into the living room and the girl invites Barry over for dinner tonight to thank him for his help. As soon as Barry leaves, the fun part begins, but they are interrupted by a phone call. James is given some terrible news. His father has passed away. They move into James' father's house. Early in the morning, the man goes to work. His loving wife manages to give a gift, which James is very happy about. The girl goes down to the kitchen, where Rose wants to make coffee for the girl, but Sophia takes the book and immediately leaves. After making a few notes, Rosa offers to have lunch. The girl has no appetite and suggests that the housekeeper take the day off. James has already taken over his father's company. He is worried that he may not be able to cope with the development of a new large-scale project. His assistant assures the guy that they will cope together. Rosa does not want to take the day off. The girl asks the woman, someone she dreamed of being as a child. It turns out that Rosa is satisfied with her work now and would like to continue, trying to find common topics for conversation. Sophia tells that she has not lived in a fancy house before. For this reason, she does everything herself. James returns home and Sophia admits that she fired all the employees, to which her husband is very surprised. The girl paid everyone severance pay and let them go to their families, as they were not at their soma for a long time. Since now they have a lot of money, the spouses discuss how they will live further. Left alone in a large mansion without witnesses, they can do whatever they want. To begin with, to learn the depth of family life as rich people. In the morning, James tells his investors about the prospects of a new project, but not everyone shares his views. The conversation is sparked by a phone call. It's Sophia. She asks for help with her new lawnmower, but James is angry and promises to help after work. While her husband fixes the lawnmower, he gets angry because Sophia has fired all the domestic workers. Now he has to spend his time doing it. In the morning, the girl tells him that she can't get used to the new house, but still doesn't want to bring the servants back. James convinces her to get used to it before it's too late. Tells his assistants that he has a hard time sending the new company alone, and since he's so interested, he's willing to do whatever it takes to make his father's business thrive. Even though his wife loads him up with housework since she fired all the servants, the man is confident he can do it. His assistant suggests a solution that Sophia should like. It turns out that James' father was approached by a very promising company with new technologies. They come in this morning to find out more. A scientist named Julian shows the spouses special biorobots that will fully satisfy the needs of their masters. They look like living people and listen to absolutely all orders. Sophia begins a dialogue with one of them, curious about the purpose of their existence. James talks about the prospects, but Sophia is hesitant again. They decide to take a man named Henry. The owner demonstrates obedience to the robot, who is willing to do whatever they wish. They are then told the instructions on how to use it. They need to remember that artificial intelligence develops and adapts gradually. Already at home, Henry makes breakfast, and they get to know each other better. Sophia is not happy again as she is embarrassed. James insists that she give tasks to the robot as there is plenty to do at home. Starting with the lawn, the girl finds a note in the kitchen that Henry wrote and smiles. After showering, the girl did not expect to meet Henry in the bedroom, who was looking at her without clothes. The girl immediately told James about it. Her husband did not pay attention to it and said that after work they would talk about it. James talks to his assistant Roland, who gives the bad news to the new owner that the company is suffering heavy losses. At night, after work, James wants to play with Henry. Sophia says it's a bad idea to wake Henry up, since the robot is charging. James offers her to replace Henry, but Sophia refuses and the man will be the robot. Before starting the game, Henry specifies what level to play at and James chose amateur. After talking a bit about man's fatigue, they began to play. James started to lose and accidentally shouted out the name of God. The robot started to wonder why the man did that, and James asked the job if he believed in God, and Henry said he didn't. He believes in his creator, which is why he is sure of tomorrow. The morning the girl inquired about the night game, and the spouse was delighted as Henry completely understood. After saying goodbye, the man left for work. Later, Sophia and the robot are restoring the couch. They start talking about dreams, and the girl recognizes that Henry doesn't dream. At dinner, James says he has invited guests for the weekend, friends of his father. His wife is not happy about this as the house is not ready. When the man went to work, Sophia and Henry did chores. Sophia gave the robot a book to read gradually. When James returned from work, he and Henry started restoring an old car. The man asked Sophia to buy one part on the way to town, continuing to communicate with the robot. The man realizes that Henry is a quick learner and can already draw conclusions about what's going on around him. Turns out Henry is a great psychologist and James loves it. Talking about love and fears, the robot admits that he still has one fear that is embedded in the program. He is afraid that his masters will replace him with a new model when he becomes obsolete. The girl discusses the book with Henry, and they drink wine together. She wonders where the wine disappears to later. They have guests over and everyone is thrilled with Henry, especially after he brings food and quotes the great thinker. At dinner, everyone discusses the robot. Afterward, the couple relax and talk about life together. They start discussing a book that the girl gave to her husband. Gradually, they transfer the meaning of the book to their lives, and Sophia tells that the main character of the book could not realize all his plans and satisfy his beloved. The robot observes the reasoning of the couple, gradually expanding their views. They talk about passion and the girl begins to feel something for Henry. Sophia wonders if the robot lifts what is passion. O gets an unexpected answer. It turns out he can imitate passion and offers to do it, but James forbids it. In the night, Sophia wakes up and hears some sounds in the house. She fetches a montage and goes downstairs. At the window, she sees Henry, who is completely undressed, lying on the lawn. The girl wakes up Henry, who doesn't know how he got here. The robot tells her he had a dream, and he was just a normal person. They head for the house. Stumbling, Sophia touches Henry. At the same moment, the husband comes out, who sees this picture. The girl tells that she found a robot on the lawn. James wonders what happened. The man caught Henry as he was falling. In the morning, Julian came to diagnose the robot and said that there was a small malfunction. Sophia reports that Henry had been dreaming. Julian reminds her that the robot is programmed to please its masters and not to rush to develop the robot's emotions. The couple argue about who's to blame for the glitch. Afterward, James goes to take a shower. The robot brings him a towel. The man reminds Henry that Henry is just a robot, ordering him to get a razor and cream and shave him. He then compares Henry to an electric razor, saying that they have virtually no differences. James explains that Henry is highly functional technology, but not yet a living person. In the evening, Roland gives James some bad news as it turns out their company is a month behind schedule. Walking into the room, James finds a letter from his wife where she supports the man, and he sees a couch made. Walking into the bedroom, the girl gets on the bed with James, who immediately offers to make love, but the wife is again not in the mood due to fatigue. In the morning, James is told that another contract has fallen through and no one cares about his apology. At home, Sophia and Henry decide to do something nice and start a massage to relax. She lies only under a towel. The robot starts kissing her. She likes it and gets aroused. The girl can't stop and Henry climbs on top of her and keeps going deeper. The husband wakes Sophia up and the pleasantries were only a dream. The spouses discuss moving and question their decision. The wife says her attitude towards the move has changed for the better. Lying in bed, they plan for the future, and the girl quotes Henry. James leaves for work. The girl lay on the bed and continued to fantasize the dream with Henry. She imagined what continuation could have happened in the dream. The girl can't stop. Her fantasies are taking over the girl. Glancing at the door, she realizes she heard someone. It was Henry. Sophia is pleased that he was watching and the girl asks him to make breakfast for her. Sitting by the pool and laughing, the husband watches, then goes to Julian and tells him that Henry could ruin his marriage by flirting with his wife. Julian assures him that the robot is incapable of love. He is offered to trade the robot but refuses as Sophia will hate it. Julian says that the robot only adapts to its masters and there is no reason for jealousy and should be treated like a machine. James says to stop the robot from hitting on his wife. Henry clarifies that it is programmed to fulfill the wishes of all the masters. The man is angry with Henry as he doesn't understand. The robot reports that James and Sophia's love is fading as she expects more from her husband. The robot is sent to the station and forbidden to study books with the girl. Henry informs Sophia of this and she is against it. The couple fights about it. The girl packs her things and wants to leave for a couple of days for a change of scenery. James and Henry play a game of racquetball and the robot wins, which does not please his master. They talk about life and Henry says he's James' secret tool. The man can use the robot however he wants. They have a sequel. In the morning, the man doesn't realize what happened the night before. Was it a dream or reality? Henry has made breakfast, but James hesitates to ask about tonight and silently leaves. Things get better at work, and James is told that a big contract with a Chinese firm is up for grabs. James's colleagues are pleased that the new boss insisted and everything worked out. And as they shake hands, their relationship improves too. The man calls his wife at home, offering to go away for the weekend and relax, but they are interrupted. Now Sophia is sure that her husband is at work. The girl decides to realize her dream with a massage. Henry helps the mistress. The girl relaxes, he kisses her and confesses his love. She is alarmed by this and tells him to leave to get some exercise. The girl is smoking right in the room. Her husband comes in and she tells him Henry kissed her. Another fight breaks out. The man says the robot only does what its masters want it to do, so the girl wanted it too. James punches Henry and shuts down the station while it was charging. In the morning, the couple is expecting Julian. After James leaves for work, Henry walks into Sophie's room, guessing that they want to disconnect him. Turns out it's because of that kiss. Gundry regrets that he can't be wrong, so he kissed the girl. He asks them to keep him on until Sophia talks to her husband. Turns out Henry and James had a close encounter in reality. The girl realizes and leaves. Outside the house, she meets Julian and tells him to disconnect Henry. Julian goes into the robot's room. Henry will not be returning to the station, and the robot informs him that Julian is lying to everyone. The couple discuss their situation and regret it. The man said that he was tempted because the robot seemed disinterested while understanding. The aide informed the couple that Henry had called numerous times. They immediately returned home and began searching for Henry. When they see the robot standing in the woods, they run to him. The couple asks where Julian is, and the robot tells them that he has left, but left his car here. Henry says Julian is a fraud and the robot doesn't want to be replaced. Henry hasn't been to the charging station in a while, says he could run out of power any second. He'd like to do it outdoors, and the couple's okay with it. There was an unexpected situation. They found another robot that the other owner had lost. As it turns out, Julian is a fraud because all his robots are real people. The police immediately started looking for Julian. When they arrived at the couple's home, they all went into the woods together. Suddenly, someone shoots and eliminates the police. It was Julian. He told the story of how things really were. Henry was perfect and real. When the scientists found him, the kid was 3 years old. He was covered in bruises. Julian decided to save him and raise him. Before being shot, Henry attacks his maker and disarms him. Afterwards, he goes off on his own and uses the knife as he wanted to feel truly alive. The couple regret what happened but have no idea how to help. 5 years later, the family rests in the park and calls their son named Henry. Write in the comments, how do you feel about the technology that is already being introduced into our lives?